Hey, Peter.
Hey.
Are you OG or IG?
Oh, gee. Okay, let me think about this.
You're OG.
I'm OG. Wait, OG, is that old guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm OG.
Yeah, we know.
Original gangster. Gangsta. Sorry.
I'm Adam Menace.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Jazz-splained.
Sure.
I'm going to try not to do too much jazz-splaining today.
In a couple weeks, this is going to be just splained.
Jazz-planed.
Just splained.
I'm going to jazz-planed.
We had a great time yesterday with our brand new series of our favorite pianists of a generation. We did the millennial generation.
The millennials. Man, they came stronger. Well, I knew it was going to be strong because we chose them. But it was kind of strong.
Every generation is pretty strong,
right?
Actually.
But you think that? I mean, obviously, when we get to the final, which will be we haven't talked about. We could go beyond our planned.
We left pianists out that were born before 1900 that are really good.
We could go into the 19th century. We would have to find out the name of that generation. But
I don't think they did generations before the 20th century.
Well, I'm going to tell you one who's in there that's not going to be on our list unless we do that.
Yeah,
Duke Ellington.
Duke Ellington. I know a couple. Yeah. There's a couple of really important people that are
exactly. So we might do that. But I would say the millennials came strong. Yep. It was just fun listening to them. It gives me so much. It's not even about giving me hope for the future of jazz because that's more Gen Z, I guess, right? Or
Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha.
Hey, don't sleep. Gen Alpha is already in their early teen years.
Exactly. We might be watching some of their videos on the IG. Well, so the OGs might be hitting the IG in a second on our new series,
which is a React series. Because now that we have the secondary channel, our secondary YouTube channel, Peter, we can do.
Don't use that excuse to get sloppy. Don't use that as an excuse to get sloppy. We can't go crazy on the series.
No, but we can do some reaction videos. So that's what we're going to do here on this podcast. We are going to react to a kind of famous video. It has 2 million views, which is a lot for an instrumental, improvisational video.
Indeed.
It's going to be two OGs, two old guys.
Yes.
Reacting to some IG. Some Instagram musicians. And so we're going to react to a Domi and JD Beck video. I know you've not seen this. I've seen of it, but I haven't seen it. And so
I've seen Domi and JD Beck. I mean, I'm probably the least familiar for somebody who's as heavily involved in the jazz medium.
Yeah.
But is this jazz? I'm already going to get controversial, I know.
But
I'm aware of who they are.
Some people say no.
Yeah, I've heard their stuff. I could identify them.
I think the better question is probably, does it matter?
Well, of course. It never does with any of this stuff. But, are we getting above, below, or are we right in the middle of our pay grade with this?
I think we're right in the middle.
Okay, cool.
I think we can do whatever we want here. So let's just start the video, and we can pause.
We're going to react.
And see what we got here. This is from Nord Live Sessions. This is their original.
Love Nord. Big shout out to Nord in Sweden. So there's my first reaction.
I don't play
Send us more keyboards.
Like Domi does. But so this is from the Nord Live Sessions, Domi and JD Beck, their original sniff.
Sniff. Is this in Stockholm?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's got a little Nord pad there.
Okay, so she's playing the bass line. Obviously, left hand on the other Nord.
It looks like a stage. Yeah, stage
I like
3
that
and
shot.
a lead.
Fast,
stop.
quadruple time trap.
Stop. So that's a good setup there. It's a simple chord progression.
Yeah.
But that's a nice setup into this section.
Yeah.
And that's a nice shot.
I'm not sold yet, but great playing.
You're not digging it.
I'm digging it okay.
Okay.
It's enough to keep going.
All right, let's try it.
How many more?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really technically, I mean, obviously the technical level that they're playing is off the charts.
It's a high level, yeah.
Really, yeah, nice setup. And then they're going to this, like, the time is still there and they're hitting it right on. To me, that's kind of gimmicky. Like, it's great, but it's
gimmicky.
Like, they're in a groove and then it's like that. I mean, like, all that stuff to me is just, you're juxtaposing a little bit of, like, rhythmic nonsense a little bit in terms of like how it fits with the architecture of the tune. Now I know I'm early, I'm supposed to listen to the whole thing. Can we just take it back a little bit?
Yeah.
Show me that I'm wrong.
These breaks are gimmicky.
Well, there's just something disconnected about it. It's like everything, it's almost so automated. You know what I mean? Like they're playing it so well. I'm not saying that they need to mess it up, but there's no like fill into it, at least sometimes. There's nothing like marking it as some kind of an interesting offbeat organic flow, syncopation. I mean, it doesn't have to be syncopation like the Duke Ellington Orchestra. I'm just saying something to connect it with the flow in the music.
All right.
It just sounds disjointed. Like that's not out of time, but it almost might as well be. Like now they're playing the same rhythmic figure in the time, so that's kind of interesting. But I mean, this is cool. You know, groove.
So sick.
I like that. It's a melody. Like, there's got to be some irony to that, you know, something.
Okay, so you're just arguing that the sort of the composition itself is not doing it for you.
No, the composition is fine. I think there's a way to play that where there's a little bit of like danger and irony in that. Like they're playing so perfectly. This could be edited together or they seem very technically capable of just nailing this live, but it sounds the same as if they'd edited it perfectly together.
Yeah.
All those different parts. I mean, like it's an interesting melody. It doesn't really go anywhere, but that's okay. Because sometimes my thing with anything, I don't care about what the groove, the instrumentation, the error, there's got to be something that you want to sing afterwards. That could just be the bat, but there's like nothing compelling about that outside of just like they're playing it right together. That's always compelling to a point, but in terms of connecting it with like the form and the melody or something with the tune, to me it's just like hip shit. For 4 bars, 8 bars, more hip stuff, incredible fusion. I don't know. It's just there's nothing that would make me be like my soul's gonna be moved by this. Now, having said that, how old are they?
Young.
Yeah. I mean like 19, 20,
Very
21.
Young.
You know what I'm saying? Like I would have killed to be able to play like this at that time. They got plenty of time to get soulful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in terms of like, and then what about like the gamer music? Okay, I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
No. I think that's
is there some gamer music?
That's where the disconnect is coming in. There's probably some generational things that are honestly just lost on us. You know what I mean? I always think that like. If I don't get it, I always give the benefit of the doubt. Is that like this probably isn't for me. Like I don't understand.
Right, but
you know what I mean?
No, but I mean like the groove, the trap vibe, all this. I'm probably using the wrong term, but I know that like where he's coming from and some of these influences, drumming wise.
You got to admit the playing itself.
The playing is incredible,
unbelievable,
and
like
that
his control is unbelievable. Her time and feel is pretty spot on, man.
But I wonder if like when you talk about like, and I love some of the gaming music and the melodies and whatever. I mean, gaming music, that's like a whole, but then we do the same thing with jazz or like classical.
Final Fantasy VII theme?
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
But I mean, exactly. But I mean, there's also, you talk about, generational gap or something. Incidental music, be it in a hotel lobby or on a cruise or during a gaming situation where your attention is somewhere else or you're multitasking, there's always a need for music that draws your attention in. Now, they do draw my attention in because of the technical skill and some really hip stuff happening.
I think we're going to see a lot of the same comments from you when we watch, because we're going to do this with other IG musicians, younger musicians who have made their name on social media. to me, this is the sort of main theme about music that gets made and artists that get their name from social media, is that it's really flashy really soon.
Yeah,
like there's no
Cabin
like
in the mountain.
There's no fusion here of a slow weather report build with some Herbie secrets like spacey synths for 4 minutes before the groove comes in. There's none of that shit. It's all just like right to the
right,
all that stuff, like super
because
fast.
they're afraid, like if you don't get
it's the algorithm, Peter. We do it the same way with our own videos. You know how they just
thou hypocrites.
They're just working it. But let's check out Domi's solo here, because I do think Domi is like, I'm really excited to watch what she does as she ages, like as she gets more and more experience and plays with more people.
Yeah.
Even just what she's doing with JD Beck, but like I'm super. Because I've already watched a couple of years of her development as a musician, and I love what I'm seeing, and hearing with what she's doing and who she's working with, and it's exciting. So let's check out Domi's solo. Herbie much?
Yeah. I mean, I'm like this.
I like
this.
Your face so much.
No, I'm like, I mean, there's some stuff that I love. Like, I hear the influence. I mean, she's a great player. I love her I love the sound, the spirit, the vibe. I mean, they're popping.
What's the disconnect? What's missing for you?
I mean, this isn't like you're. It's like patchwork.
What's the difference between what do you hear with like Kenny Kirkland and this?
Oh my God!
Why is there such a chasm? Because the technique is about the same.
Well, I don't expect any 1921
of
or
course, to be
52-year-old
Kenny
to be Kenny
Kirkland.
It's not about that.
Yeah,
and you hear a little bit of that influence. Certainly Herbie, Chick. I mean, like the lineage of the music is there, but it's a little bit like algorithmic.
Yeah.
Herbie,
well, I'm asking because I don't think many people would be able to tell you the difference who were just watching this. But you, I think, would be able to have put this in really interesting
but I think
words.
that the potential impact on the listener from this compared to, like, you don't have to be on the level of Kenny Kirkland or Oscar Peterson, and I don't want anyone going back. I love that they're pushing things forward. I love the instrument sounds, and like, I mean, this is going to kind of a piano on a Nord. You could go to whatever. I mean, but it's like, fat bass and like cool stuff happening. And I like the improv, but like there's still like the things I think can stay the same even as the style, the groove. I love the look of the video. I love the lighting. Like you can bring all these elements in, put it on social media, but like the tenets of the music that hold this together, the improvisation, like they're making improvisation, and I don't doubt that she's improvising. This isn't planned out, but it sounds like it's planned out. Like it sounds like it's edited and planned out in a lot of ways. I think we all, when we're younger, to a certain degree, probably sound like that because we're very conscious of how we're putting it. But you want the spirit of the music to be like, you want some mistakes in there. You want some danger.
You think it's too safe.
You want it a little bit raggedy. Yeah. I mean, not raggedy as in, but just like when you listen to Philly Joe Jones. I mean, see, look, I'm an old guy talking about music. Make it sound like the 50s, man.
You're bringing Philly Joe Jones into
okay. Greg Hutchinson? Can we get a little Hutch?
Oh, you're talking about flurries now. Okay.
Flurries, yeah. But I mean, I'm not dogmatic about that stuff. And this is really good. And I mean, I temper all this with like, they're finding their way. I mean, I would kill to be able to play like that, this at that age.
So this for you is...
Well, like I like some of the stuff they're playing, but I couldn't listen to this and be like, wow, this is so exciting or uplifting to my spirit. And that's what I have a high bar for music. Sue me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want to...
I just think it's so interesting. No, I mean...
And it's not like it has to be calm jazz that I'm smoking a cigar by. I don't mind it being like young and upbeat or dance. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Okay, I'm going to put myself out there.
Yeah, do it.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Hello, world. I'm Peter. Okay. This kind of reminds me of Bruno Mars. The same way that like Bruno Mars, it's really great. Yes, he's regurgitating and rehashing, disco and Michael Jackson and these different eras and the Commodores. But there's a little bit of like, if you've been through that and you know that music, Stevie Wonder, it's like, I'm not so precious, like you can't copy that. No, totally copy that. That's great. But there's like a sanitized version of it. Like Bruno Mars can be, he's so talented and his stuff and his hits are so great and the grooves, but it's so produced. It's so sanitized, And this, of course, is way more daring in a lot of ways, and there's no vocals, and it's like improv and stuff, but it's just like, it's a little bit of like sanitized fusion, turned up with some kind of gaming vibe. And look, it's obviously finding an audience, and that's great, and visually it's really exciting and well shot, and I think that's a big part of it, as it should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to me, in terms of like how this fits in with like the improvisational artistic world, I don't know. It's just not for me.
No, I hear you.
But it could be. Yeah, keep playing it. Let's keep reacting. Maybe I'll come around. Like that line. Part of it is because, can you pause for a second? Like what she just played there. Like maybe this is partly because you're playing a piano sound on a Nord. And Nords are great, but piano sounds they don't necessarily excel at, I would say.
I agree.
I mean, this is probably better even.
Spectronics, for sure. Yeah.
No sponsorship. But the idea, like can you take it back like 10 seconds?
Sure.
Okay, what she plays here. Okay, that right there. That's like, I mean, like that's so, she couldn't have played it any more correcter and just straight and sanitized that line. It was an interesting line, but it needs a vibe to it or something, and maybe this style of playing doesn't allow that for as much because of the speed and stuff.
Yeah.
But Kenny Kirkland could.
Yep. I hear you.
Can I get a hey for 1985? Hello.
I'll give you hey, especially for the sort of loudness wars dynamic level that's going on.
There's
in a
a
lot
compression to the vibe in a way.
100%.
But it's not.
That's
like,
kind of part of the sound too.
It is part of the sound. And look, this is not. I don't want to be like, ooh, I hate this. This is interesting.
It really is
to me.
Yeah, it's interesting for me to watch you watch this.
Well,
this
know
is
what
really
it reminds
fun
me
for
of
us.
too. Do you remember
Caleb's enjoying it. I can see his lighting up over there.
Do you remember? Dirty Loops?
Of course.
That band.
Yeah.
That, I think, spurred a lot of this in a way. I could be wrong. Maybe they never heard of them. But to me...
I know what you're talking about. The Swedish outfit that was like doing all this stuff. And they were, I think, more pre-recorded.
Yeah. I mean, but their stuff was more like... I don't know. To me, it was a little bit more authentic, but it was like really like a lot of crazy lines and stuff. I love like because I don't want people to be like, oh, because they're not playing a blues.
Okay, that's interesting.
Blues. I mean, that's another thing. I think blues has to have some impact on like almost every music that's like happens that's come from American R&B, blues, jazz. Like I don't know that like there's a connective tissue there that I think is important.
Buddy, I'm all about the
and it can be anything. And, they've got a little bit of it. I'm not saying they don't have any in there, but it's a little bit submerged right now.
We should get them on the show. I'm just saying. Let's finish this solo.
Yeah. It's a lot of pattern-based playing. This was great, The other thing is, like, are they, like, let's just watch. How much are they playing together? They're playing very much together with the beat and the groove. Mm-hmm. But in terms of, like, interacting and listening, they may be, but the way they sound like they're playing, they don't sound like they're listening to each other. But,
I agree
you know what I'm saying?
There's not a lot of, like, what...
And it's a duet. You know what I mean?
Spurs the other.
Like, I'm not saying anything has to, like, have to stop and they have to do Stardust. I'm saying they could play this exact tune. I mean, the tune is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't really go a lot of places, but it's got enough there that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, you got to play together. You got to feel each other. Like, there's got to be that human element. People come to this music, to any music, to have their souls, like, touched in some way. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you got to, like, they're doing, like, hits together. That's great because people love that. People love to have that. But then you got to do stuff that, like, you're reacting and it changes and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit like two machines playing.
I like that.
That's nice because it seems to people like they're playing together.
That was a nice moment, actually.
Yeah, but there just needs more of that. Even like because how they, there was a little bit running into it and running over or something. Yeah. I mean, the playing's great. I mean, make a chart. Let's have Max make a chart on this, a transcription.
That's sick. Come on, that's sick.
Nice.
I don't know, man. I'm a fan.
It's all right. It's all right. It's not. I mean, look, there's so much great stuff happening in there, but that's also like I think that when you can do some things really well, even if you're young, that raises the expectation for the listener. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be like graded based upon my knowledge of music. No. I'm just like, if you can play really well, to those who are given much is expected. Right. So I'm going to have high standards. If they kind of came through slopping through this arrangement, I'd be like, okay, you don't have to really be together. But it's like, you got to be banging on everything, not just the technical level, perfect time. I mean, I bet this is like perfectly in the exact time they started that they ended.
So
that shit doesn't excite me necessarily.
What's interesting about the video we just watched, I think this is on the series that we're going to do. This is a great series. We got to replace me with Hutch, and I think it would be a better show. Honestly, it would be amazing. But I think we're going to find, and interestingly with all of these, like think about like if this was 30 years ago and they were of that level, they wouldn't be doing their own thing yet, no matter how good they were.
Right.
They'd be in someone's band. They'd be in Miles's band or something. Right. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And learning.
And
like
maybe that's a flaw with the system
like
now.
If Joey DeFrancesco was 18 now, he'd be an Instagram, he would have been maybe an Instagram musician, so that like it's something to think about, that difference between just making it yourself. Like you're saying, like with much is when you have that much responsibility, talent much is expected, but like there's not that same pipeline of like, older musicians who take people this talented in their bands.
That's true. But I think that there's also this platforms in which you can kind of leapfrog some of that, because we, the young guys we had, New Jazz Underground, last week. I mean, they're like, they're having some success online and stuff, but they're basing it upon, I don't know. I don't want to get into a stylistic thing because like they're playing straight ahead or whatever. It's not about that. You know what I'm saying? But they seem like that they're taking a more authentic approach, without being like, I've got to be I mean, this could be the Jacob Collier effect too.
Oh, we're doing him next. We're doing Jacob Collier.
Yeah, I mean, now that's a different story. We'll get into that. I definitely have some thoughts on that. But I just think but look, everything isn't supposed to be for me. Look, I love Stevie Wonder. I love Herbie Hancock. I like Shirley Horn.
We know, baby.
I like Brad Melda. I like Robert Glasper. I like you. I like, you know what I'm saying? I like great music that I think is great. But that's not the only great music that's out there, you know what I mean? And so I love hearing this new stuff. It's just, for me, the bar is very high on like I spent this morning listening to Ron Carter and Roberta Flack, on her record First Take. So I mean, my standards are high. So I mean, JD Beck and Domi, my apologies but somebody that comes to mind a little bit just in terms of just a lot of technique at the piano that I heard live recently is Hiromi. And, I wouldn't put them in the same category outside of the fact that, like, she can play all this incredible
technical brilliance.
But I mean, so can all the pianos we had on the millennial list, too.
Yeah.
But they're not necessarily as, like, she does, some experimental things and writes her own music and kind of goes crazy. Some people kind of like, oh, is she just about the flash and everything? And, and she's had big videos like Fascinating Rhythm stuff where it's just like, but to me, she's always like, there's always that danger element there.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Man, I love hearing your thoughts on this because so many people just automatically give it up to the chops, right?
Yeah.
And because they are young and exciting. Like, it's exciting to hear something that's that different from most things, right?
Right.
And it's that like crazy, like, what is happening?
Yeah.
With the chops and everything. So I love hearing you like not give it up so easily. It's so wonderful to hear, man.
Well, I gave it up to the chops.
No, I mean, like, there's no denying that they're amazing musicians. It's going to be great to hear what they do. But I think you're right. Like, it's not as earned as there's even like something like Hiromi or Robert Glasper. Like those, like Robert Glasper was in Betty Carter's band still. and like did this sort of like mentorship thing that happens. Yeah. And a lot of the people that we're going to listen to in this series and the OG listens. What is it? OG on the IG?
OGs listen, react to IG.
A lot of
OGs
the people
react to IG. But we couldn't even figure out how to do it on IG, so we did it on YouTube anyway.
I know. That's how OG we are. It's so funny.
Well, cool. Well, thanks.
Yeah, man. Super fun.
That's right.
All right. Till next time.
You'll hear it.
What's up, YouTube?
I was just saying, okay, good bonus for you guys, YouTube. I was telling Adam, whatever ire comes after this, bring it on, no problem. But I feel like it's going to come on me. I feel like Adam did a better job.
Well, I genuinely am excited
threading
about
the
them.
needle.
Like I listened to their record.
No, I'm serious. I want to know why.
I think that she's insanely talented.
Well, obviously. But I'm saying, are you excited about every talented musician?
But I do think that of the IG musicians that I've heard, the way that they make music together, I think is something that's super like I want to show my kids that because they would understand that and then go listen to Secrets and be like, oh, cool. Like it's a similar vibe, you know?
Right. I know. You know what? That's why I'm actually now I might have been kind of prescient with my comment about Bruno Mars because I remember getting a conversation with Kelly about, it's like, well, Bruno Mars, because I was like, oh, this is, because she's like, it sounds, good. And, she knows that style of music and from that era of like pop R&B better than I do. I mean, she can name anything. So I was kind of like, this is not like the real deal Donna song. I mean, whoever you want to say, really Michael Jackson, obviously.
Right.
And she's just like, yeah, but it's kind of like a good bridge for young people today. At least they're listening to something that's like well produced and like they might go back and listen to Stevie then and whatever.
Right. If you compare it to like, your average like top of the chart mumble rapper, it's better than that, right? Like,
I guess
it's more bridge to Stevie and the music we love.
But I think the Domi and Jay, I mean, this will be interesting for the next episode when we get into
Jacob Collier,
because to me, I'm not going to have a lot of those same. I'm not going to have a lot of those same reservations. He's a great player, a great musician, definitely like stretching the boundaries in a way that I like to see. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want everyone trying to play like Wynton Kelly, even if I'm up here talking about that all the time.
It's going to be interesting because I'm not as big of a Jacob Collier fan. Obviously, I have so much crazy respect for him. But yeah, to me, I'm of that generation and that sort of like level. Domi and JD Beck, I think, are above. Let
us know in the comments, for real. I really want to know what our audience are burgeoning. You'll hear. First of all, subscribe. Come on. Like and subscribe. We're going to make it so you can't comment unless you... Can we do that? We're gonna try to do that. Well, I got dogmatic. Pissed off, man.
I love it. We're usually
I'm fired up. I'm not pissed off.
I love it. We are often so like I don't even know what the word is, but
magnanimous,
but pleasant towards anybody we talk to.
Now we're getting
magnanimous.
Magnanimous. We're going from magnanimous to belligerent. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay to get kind of old and crotchety after a while. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Get Rick Beato on the phone, man. We're going to talk about.
Also, have you noticed that we're still caveating every single one of these with like, but they're great. They're really great.
And if you guys want to come on and bring some Nord,
no, there are. Listen, we're not talking to anyone who's super jive who can't play or like.
No,
we're holding this at a very.
We're not going to waste. We're putting this on there because people that we respect, like you really brought them to my attention. I mean, I'd heard about it, but when you were like, you should check them out, I'm like, okay, I know there's something there. It may not be for me, or I may not, but I'm open.
All right, wait till we get to Jesus. Here we go.
Oh boy.
All right,
you'll hear it.
See ya.
Dopio.